Have you received a mailer from TriPoint Lending pre-qualifying you for a debt consolidation loan for as low as 6.95%? And you're wondering, is this legitimate? Is this real? Or is this maybe a scam? Is this too good to be true? So we cover the answer to these questions and much more, and the results actually may surprise you. So let's get right into it. Welcome to Ascend Finance's YouTube channel, where we cover debt companies such as TriPoint Lending and help you understand the costs, pros, and cons to help you be more informed and get you out of the debt cheaper, easier, and faster. My name is Justin, and I actually used to work at a debt settlement firm, so I should have a pretty good understanding of how TriPoint Lending works and the pros and cons associated with them. In this video, I am going to cover what TriPoint Lending looks like and a few other things. And initially, I want to talk about what the company is. Who is and what is TriPoint Lending? I want to go through the kind of cost of it. So how much does TriPoint cost? One thing I find quite important to understand when you're picking a company is the reviews. So I want to touch on TriPoint reviews. And then also, if you're not able to qualify, what can you do? What are your options if you can't get a consolidation loan? And so with that said, if you end up liking this video, clicking the like button is always encouraging for us to see, as well as if you're hoping to see more content like this to help you get out of the debt, feel free to subscribe, as we're trying to make new videos weekly. So without further ado, let's get started. As I noted before, I want to go through first off who and what is TriPoint Lending. So we actually became aware of TriPoint Lending when we had a recent call with a person that we're going to call John. And so in this situation, John was struggling to make ends meet and ended up having quite the high debt to income ratio. And so we were quite surprised that he would be getting consolidation loan offers when his credit score or his debt to income ratio wasn't amazing. And so our initial hypothesis was that TriPoint Lending is potentially a marketing company that markets something called debt settlement, also known as debt consolidation programs. And something to be aware though, this is not to be mistaken or confused with a loan. A loan is going to have proceeds that go to your bank account. Debt settlement, debt consolidation programs are not. And so if you're unfamiliar with what that is, debt settlement is the process in which a third party is actually negotiating and settling with your creditor on your behalf. And the goal of the debt settlement company is to find a lower payment that'll fully satisfy the debt that you owe. So let's say a debt settlement company may try to settle a $10,000 credit card for $5,000. This can be great because it provides ample savings and a lower monthly payment, but there are things to understand. And so, as you know, I used to work at debt settlement company, and I've spoken with so many people comparing debt settlement to other options, and I do believe debt settlement can be a good option for some, but not for others. And so it's helpful to understand whether it makes sense for you. Now, if you're struggling with debt and you're not sure what to do next, we actually built a free unbiased debt options comparison calculator that you can actually find it in the description below. That'll help you compare a wide range of different debt relief options that may be able to help fit your budget. Now, with that said though, I want to go through the history of TriPoint Lending. So if you look at its BBB page, it looks like it's been around since 2017. So BBB kind of goes through that the company actually covers loans, payday loans, and loan servicing. It also shows that the company has been accredited since 2018. That said though, how much does TriPoint Lending cost and how much debt relief cost in general? Well, at Ascend, we definitely believe that debt settlement can be a good option, but that's only with the context of understanding all of your options and understanding the cost of those options. And so as I went through a little bit earlier, that's exactly why we built the free debt settlement cost calculator that you can find in the description. We want you to be the most informed. In order to make the most informed decision, you need to see all your options. You need to holistically compare the pros, the cons, the costs, durations, and all the above, and so that you can make the most informed decision. While the calculator is not going to provide you an exact TriPoint Lending estimate, it provides an estimate based on your personalized financial data and allows you to compare different options. And so with that all said, we do find it very important to look at the reviews of different debt settlement companies. And so I want to kind of walk you through and take a look at TriPoint Lending's reviews. So if we take a look at their BBP page, at the time of this, we saw that they received a 4.03 out of 5 and an A+ rating. And it seemed like they only have received 8 complaints in the last 3 years, 2 being in the last year. After reading through many reviews though, it seemed like people were quite upset by the way they were treated by the employees, and this feeling of being scammed. And so many people on the BBB website mentioned having horrible horrible experiences with the TriPoint employees that they spoke with. A lot of the folks leaving the reviews referred to the TriPoint Lending employees as demeaning, rude, and even defensive. And a few people also mentioned that the individual they spoke to at TriPoint would mention that they're going on a lunch break or needing to step in a meeting, but they would call them back. And some people never heard from them again. But those who did say that the TriPoint worker came back with completely new guidelines and information after their break. So also looking at other places for reviews. So we can look at their Google reviews and we can see there that they are potentially rated with a high of 4.5 out of 5. However, reading through many of the reviews, it was clear that not everyone was excited and pleased with the service they received. A lot of the individuals call TriPoint a scam or deceptive marketing. Another interesting thing to note is how close TriPoint Lending is in proximity to Credit 9 and AmeriCorps. So we actually just wrote a Credit 9 and AmeriCorps review, and I noticed all the three companies were located in Irvine, California. So we Google mapped them and we tried to see how far they were, and it looks like the distance from one company to another company was unbelievably close. So Credit 9 and AmeriCorps actually appear to be on the 5th and 6th floor of the same exact building. And then TriPoint Lending is a 0.3 mile walk from both of these different companies. And so I wanted to kind of show you there how close in proximity they are relative to their different offices. Now, with that said, you may be thinking, okay, why are they close? These companies legitimate? And so that's what I want to touch on now. Is TriPoint Lending legitimate, or are they scamming people? Well, I will start with this. It's unclear to me whether TriPoint Lending actually provides loans. From reading reviews and looking at the TriPoint Lending mailer, it seems like TriPoint Lending is a company that markets itself as debt consolidation loans. One question I have is whether TriPoint Lending actually ever qualifies individuals to receive consolidation loan, or if anyone ever gets a 6.95 interest rate. Or potentially what's happening actually is it markets to people who never ever would be able to qualify for a loan, but does qualify for their consolidation program, which is absolutely different. A consolidation loan and a debt consolidation program are not the same thing. Now, what they're doing, or what we believe that could be happening, is not necessarily scamming people. It may be considered a deceptive marketing tactic. So now with that said, you may still need some sort of consolidation. And so let's chat through, what your options could look like. So let's say right now you're like, I cannot get a debt consolidation loan elsewhere. I don't know what to do. Now, if you can't get a loan elsewhere and you can't get a loan from TriPoint Lending, what are your options? Are you putting more on your cards each month than actually reducing them? And do you have a high debt to income ratio potentially? You may find that you eventually qualify for a debt consolidation loan, but the challenge is the interest rate could be 29.99%, or the loan won't even cover all of your debt. And so if you have debt that's unaffordable, I'd encourage you to take a look at the free debt options and cost calculator that I linked below. The idea there is it's going to allow you to compare options like nonprofit credit counseling, debt settlement, and debt payoff planning. And sometimes, you may be already in a financial hardship. And so we want you to be able to compare it to bankruptcy as well. And so you can holistically see everything in front of you. Now, I know this is a lot, but I do hope that this video was helpful. But if you have any questions at all, as I'm sure other folks do as well, feel free to leave a comment. And that way folks with a similar question can see and get the answer to that as well. But if you have a question that's personalized to you, call us, text us at 833-272-3631. Again, I appreciate you watching this video. I'm always here if you have any questions.